While most casual retail traders are staring at daily green and red candles, the smart money is staring directly at Washington, D.C. A top crypto researcher, Smoke, just dropped a massive bomb on X, breaking down official legislative analysis and market research that points to one undeniable truth, and that's the proposed Clarity Act is officially the single biggest pending catalyst for XRP and a handful of other elite digital assets. So, we are not talking about empty promises or what ifs anymore. We have actual voting data from the United States Senate that shows this bill is moving much faster through the legislative pipeline than anyone initially anticipated. So in this video, we are going to look into what Smoke exposed, what this major bipartisan shift means, and I'm going to give you my raw personal opinion on why this changes our entire investment thesis for the rest of this year 2026. So grab a drink, make yourself comfortable, and let's jump straight into the facts. So let's start with our very first question about why did the 15-9 Senate Banking Committee vote shock the market. Alright, according to the documents shared by top researcher right here, Smoke, the Clarity Act achieved a major milestone this previous May 14th, 2024. The Senate Banking Committee officially passed the bill with strong bipartisan support in a 15-9 vote. Now, the entire industry is shifting its focus toward a full Senate floor vote, where supporters will need 60 votes to push it past the final line. So, in my own opinion, when I first saw the 15-9 vote, right here, 15-9 vote, I knew the game had completely changed. Getting politicians from completely opposite sides of the aisle to agree on anything in 2026 is practically a miracle. So to me, this vote proves that the pressure from institutional investors is working. They are tired of the old way of doing things. They want to clear rules and they want them now. As a trader, this gives me immense confidence that the Clarity Act isn't just political theater. It has real legs, and it's sprinting toward the finish line. The market is already starting to wake up to this reality. Smoke pointed out that the market is actively trying to price in this regulatory shift. The assets leading the charts are XRP, Ethereum, Solana, Cardano, Chainlink, and Stellar among the digital assets. All right, these are the projects positioned to absorb the massive waves of capital once the final 60 vote floor threshold is crossed. Our next question is, why is XRP positioned to be the primary beneficiary of this law? The core of Smoke's research focuses intensely on XRP and its unique regulatory history. The attached data right here argues that the digital assets with a long history of SEC-related legal uncertainty stand to experience the absolute strongest explosive reactions once the Clarity Act officially becomes federal law. We already caught a glimpse of this behavior right after the committee vote, when XRP briefly blasted past $1.54 before cooling off, right? So these are the documents. And now my opinion about this is that let's look at XRP, where XRP has been carrying a heavy regulatory backpack for years. It has fought the battles that other tokens run away from. So it only makes sense that when the legal shackles are permanently removed by Congress, XRP will experience the most powerful relief rally. So in my view, this bill will completely replace the toxic regulation by enforcement strategy with a structured, transparent legal framework. No more guessing games, no more sudden lawsuits, and no more fear for exchanges and developers operating inside the United States. Smoke also made a brilliant point that I think everyone needs to hear, and that's true regulatory clarity will strengthen investor confidence in XRP without needing chaotic macroeconomic disruptions. It's like a global oil crisis or an economic collapse to force people into crypto. This is a structural long-term upgrade that has been proven time and time again throughout crypto history. When safety increases, big money enters. Right? The next question is, how fast are mega institutions swallowing up the crypto supply? In another incredibly eye-opening section of the material shared by Smoke highlights just how massive the institutional presence has become since the spot Bitcoin ETFs rolled out in early 2024. Let's just highlight this part, right? So, get a load of this statistic. Institutional ownership of Bitcoin's long-term holder supply skyrocketed from a mere 8.4% all the way up to a staggering 2.23.9%. And here's the kicker. They did this even during periods when retail market sentiment was weak and fearful. So in my own personal opinion, this is the classic Wall Street shakeout. While retail investors are panicking over small price drops, the massive hedge funds and institutions are quietly buying up nearly a quarter of the entire long-term supply. They are not doing this for a quick flip. They are building generational portfolios. They know that once the Clarity Act passes, they can easily expand these same disciplined portfolio strategies into assets like XRP. Seeing this data makes me want to hold onto my bags even tighter. If the biggest financial entities on earth are accumulating, why on earth would I sell? The research even pointed out that crypto volatility is becoming highly manageable for these big players. When institutions apply a standard rebalance portfolio strategy like 60-40 mix with disciplined crypto exposure, it dramatically improves risk-adjusted performance over time. The old narrative that crypto is too risky for real money is officially dead. The next question is modern regulation turning into a filter rather than a threat? The final piece of commentary shared by Smoke reveals a beautiful shift in how the industry views government rules. Regulation is no longer viewed as an existential threat to blockchain. Instead, it is being embraced as a giant industry filter. Right? Let's just highlight that part. Industry filter. An industry filter that will permanently separate compliant, highly secure networks from weak, speculative meme projects. So in my own personal opinion, I absolutely love this perspective. For years, people thought regulation would kill crypto. But the reality is that clear rules act like a quality control filter. Major global frameworks like Europe's Markets in Crypto Asset Framework and the Genius Act in the United States are proving that governments want a clean, safe playground for digital capital markets. For utility giants like Ethereum, Solana, and especially XRP, this filter is a massive competitive advantage. It weeds out the garbage and leaves the infrastructure networks standing tall as the only choices for institutional compliance is standards. So, when you look at the big picture, smoke painted for us, the trajectory is clear. The Clarity Act is moving through the Senate. Institutions are holding a historic amount of supply, and the legal framework is setting up a launchpad for compliant assets. So we need to keep our eyes locked on the upcoming Senate floor vote updates. Stay disciplined and ignore the daily noise. The fundamentals have never looked this solid. And this finally ends our video. Thank you very much for watching, and see you on the next one. You might as well want to check these recommended videos right here.